Scientists have recently discovered the solar flash event that sunk Atlantis 14,000 years ago. And another one of these solar events may be coming very soon. All right, so as you know, on this channel for quite a while, I talked a lot about the upcoming solar flash event, which, according to many people, is that the sun would release high frequency gamma radiation that would actually be coming from the center of our galaxy through a wormhole into the sun that would be released onto planet Earth. And then the belief is that as a result of this flash of energy from the sun, that consciousness would shift up to what we might call 5D ascension, the new Earth. Some people believe that the solar flash will create a timeline shift. I don't use that term, but that's the easiest way to understand. There'll be two parallel timelines going in different directions. One, a 1984 kind of Earth, and the other one being a 5D golden age type of Earth. I'm not saying what's happening, that's what some people believe. And for a while I was very interested in this because of all of my experiences when I started interacting, communicating with higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings. So I never received any information from them about an instantaneous flash, but I did ask specifically what the ascension event was going to be, and what I was told by ETs was that it would be a series of solar waves that would hit the Earth and shift everything up. So I recently began walking away from the idea of the solar flash. I've made videos saying that the solar flash has already come and gone. I believe that is most likely the truth, because we did go through a period of a series of solar waves. It seems like there's a lot more energy coming out of the sun lately, so perhaps this is continuing. But I'm now starting to rethink the possibility that there might be an actual instantaneous flash similar to this picture. And that has to do with what was discovered about what happened to the Earth approximately 14,000 years ago. So just for reference, 14,000 years, if you look at this is a graph of the 24,000 year Yuga cycle. And you can see where we are at present. We're coming out of Kali Yuga, and directly opposite of where we are, if you look down where it says present and you follow it directly across, you'll see the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe. That's supposed to have been when the flood event hit the Earth and wiped out Atlantis and the advanced civilization on Earth. So 14,000 years, that is a little earlier than that, but we're still in the same general area. And so let's talk about this. All right, so the event they're talking about, I didn't put it down here, is called the Miyake event. And that's different from your average solar storm. So this is a solar proton storm that hit Earth 14,000 years ago. So this was a significant event. And they know that by looking at things that were left over in the Earth's record, including tree rings and things like that. They can figure out that there was a massive event, and they believe it was a Miyake event. So a Miyake event is not a solar storm as we know it. It's a solar proton storm. And so that means there's actual material, there's solar material that's being hurled at the Earth. So it's more than just light waves, it's actual significant material that's coming directly at the Earth. And let's talk about the difference between a solar proton storm and just a regular solar flare, even coronal mass ejections. Those, we have a heads up when those happen. When the solar flares happen or the coronal mass ejections happen, we have a heads up, and that can take hours, if not days. Usually it takes days to get here. So we can brace for it, and so that's not like the solar flash where there's this big boom and then we see it and we feel it. It's a little different than that. So the solar proton storms are like that. They happen. There's a huge release of energy, as I understand it, but this energy basically hits Earth within minutes. So if it's, we'll get into what that would be like. So the solar material traveled to Earth in minutes. This is the big deal. The storm 14,000 years ago was 500 times stronger than any proton storm in modern history. So if I understood and I'll put a link below, you can watch it yourself. If I understood what I saw in this video, this isn't 500 times stronger than a huge solar storm. It's 500 times stronger than Miyake events that have happened in modern history. These events have happened, and they're very intense, and they happen something like every 2,400 years. Not 24,000, 2,400 years. This is when these events seem to happen fairly regularly. And so the one that happened 14,000 years ago was 500 times stronger than some of the strongest storms proton storms that we know of. So I imagine it must have been a pretty intense event. So this event may have been visible and hit Earth almost instantly. So that's when I started thinking, hey, now they're starting to describe something that sounds like what people are calling the solar flash, where there's this huge solar explosion, a flash of light, and then it hits Earth. As you're watching it, it hits Earth. That's what I've heard the solar flash event described as. So it made me start thinking, this may have already happened before. And I find the fact that it happened right around the time that everything shifted and everything changed, again, it's not exact, but we don't have an exact understanding of any of this stuff, I don't think. Anyway, who knows? We'll find out. So this fits the current description of the solar flash event. These events happen regularly. So the question is, are we about to experience another? Is this the kind of event that will shift or split the Earth? So my take is, so here's my experience, those of you who've been following my channel for a while. My experience communicating with the higher dimensional beings is that they haven't come out and said to me that there's going to be a singular flash event. I told you what they did tell me was going to happen, but communication with ETs is not like me and you sitting down and talking verbally. It doesn't work that way. So sometimes it can be challenging to get the exact specifics of what's being said. Having said that, I do feel that they have encouraged me at times to believe in something like that. They have encouraged me to believe that there will be a worldwide event. They have encouraged me to believe that there will be a shift, there will be a split in the Earth. There's been some communications that seem very clear that that's what's going on. And as I'm preparing to make this video, I felt a lot of energy from them. This subject seems to be very interesting to them. They seem to like that. So I don't really know what to make of it. Now, to be honest, for myself, I've been sort of backing off on a lot of this stuff. Even though I'm doing these live guided meditations, and even though, ironically, I'm now channeling ETs and doing ET channelings, I have been backing away from the instantaneous solar flash event. I've been really wondering about what does the Earth split really mean, because we're clearly going through some kind of a split, even though we're all still here together. On an emotional, spiritual, psychological level, people are going in two different directions. People are freaking losing their minds, and some people are just out of nowhere just turning around and acting very destructively and belligerently, and other people are waking up. There's a lot of people who are waking up, and of course we got all kinds of crazy things going on the planet right now. So there's just and the planet herself is clearly going through a big shift, as there's all these earthquakes and volcanic activity, and the energetic shifts that are happening in the Schumann resonance. All this stuff, a lot of things are going on. Clearly, objectively, that's true. I've been having a lot of doubts about, where is this going to go? What I thought 3 years ago, I'm not fully on board with anything, but I'm still staying open-minded. So learning about this event really got me thinking maybe there is something, and I don't know what exactly it is. The light beings really seem to be interested in having me be open to that idea. Again, they've said things like, you'll be coming home soon, those kinds of things, which is, what do you do with that? But if there was some kind of an explosive solar event like that at that level, maybe that would have the same kind of effect that it did 14,000 years ago, but in the opposite direction. The other thing that I think about when it comes to this is that based on my communications and my travels, I was extremely surprised. Bear in mind, I've never been into this stuff. I've never believed in any of it. I thought it was ridiculous nonsense. The whole idea of Lemurians I thought was absolute nonsense. Those people never existed. It's made up. But in my astral travels, I have met with them, and they are very real. And the communications I had with them were extremely powerful and very real. So what I learned from them was that there was a shift event, 13,000 years ago or whenever it was. There was an event. It was the same event that brought everything down that preceded the destruction of the advanced civilization. And depending on where somebody's frequency would determine where they went, whether they went up to a higher frequency or down to the lower frequency that Earth went to. And so I'm starting to think maybe some kind of event like this could create that. And maybe it's coming again. Maybe we're heading for that. Who knows? So maybe the solar flash is a real possibility. Okay, so I've said all of that. So that's it. Just something to think about. Again, I'm very practical, and I really want to know the truth, and I really want to have believable evidence for things. It gets difficult to do that when you're dealing with things like shifting into higher frequencies. One thing I do know for a fact is that there are beings, conscious beings, who exist in a frequency above this one. And I know for a fact that you can be in the physical presence. They can be right next to you. They can touch you. They're right here with you. But yet they're just shifted up to a frequency that's higher than this one, and you can't see them unless they want you to. So I know for a fact that that exists. So it's a challenging place to be when you're as practical as I am, to believe in this thing like a solar flash event and the earth splitting and all of those things. It's very hard to believe that without any objective evidence in our reality, and yet having enough experience and evidence to know that there's some reality to this. So the real question is, what does it all mean? So I'm not saying you have to figure it out. I don't think it's a good idea to try and figure things out. I think that the only thing that's important is to make the commitment to shift, to raise your frequency, and that's what this channel is all about. So we do have, as always, the free live guided interdimensional meditations we do every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. And we do have today, actually, we only do the meditations on Wednesday. Every Saturday we do the live CE5 meditation, which is about summoning and communicating with higher dimensional extraterrestrials. We've got all kinds of other stuff on the channel. You see the links here. Click on the links if you want to learn more about them. We've also got the Thulian astrology, which, where is that? Oh, there it is. The Thulian Starseed Ascension Astrology. That is Vedic astrology, but it's focused on your soul, your ascendant, and what you were before you came here and what your higher dimensional focus is. I've just had the first one of those, which I will upload soon. We've also got Galactic Contact, which is a 10-step practical video course to learn how to communicate with and channel higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to contact.thunderwizard.com. And again, the most important things is to be doing the energy practices, which I teach at thunderwizard.com in both the shop. If you go down, you look at the menu. Some people go, I don't know how to get through that website. Well, it's very simple. Where is it? Where is my website? Go to the thunderwizard.com website. You see at the bottom there the menu. You can click on membership. When you click on membership, you're going to see all of the different memberships that are available to you, whether it's a group or whether it's working with me personally. You can also go to the shop. You see shop there. Click on shop and you'll see the Mao Shan 5-element practices. You'll see a bunch of energy practices. Doing the energy practices is really important so that your energy body can actually handle the higher dimensional energy when you communicate with these beings. So anyway, check all that stuff out. I encourage you to take action on that. I will see you tonight in about an hour and a half from right now. And yeah, that's it. You guys know what to do and where to go. And feel free to leave comments with your experience, suggestions, etc., etc. All right, that's it. I love you all. Please be very good to yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.